let's go ahead and open up the doors to Daily with Doc. Hello, everybody, and happy New Year. My name is Becca Dukes, and I am excited to bring to you another year of exciting things that are happening here with the Daily with Doc team. And most of all, being able to continue an empowering information show that gives you the ability to make choices to help choose a different health journey. So whether you're on that journey of not looking so good in health, or that journey of I want to continue and be bigger and better today than I was yesterday, then you are in the right place. Welcome to Daily with Doc. Now, if you are here live with us in the Zoom room, make sure that you have that chat open, as we will have information that is being posted in that chat to help you see exactly what is being said, and you can refer back to it, take screenshots, whatever you need to be able to remember what information is being shared. If you're not here with us live in the Zoom room and you would like to be, feel free to join us at dailywithdoczoom.com. That is Monday through Friday. Most of those days, we're getting back to having every day again, from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time. So again, that's dailywithdoczoom.com, 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time. And I just want to do a shout out and hello to all of those who are listening to us still on the radio on KSCO and KOMY. And also a shout out to my father's doctor, who is allopathic doctor, that follows us. Hello, Dr. Smith in Spokane. You are fabulous. Thanks for all that you do as well. So, folks, this program is a resource for an amazing community, a community of people who have a passion for people, and not just the passion for people, but to help see them thrive. And that is the information that we share in this program, are things that you can do all on your own to assure and support a life that thrives. Now, the information in this program is for informational purposes only. It is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor is it meant to treat, diagnose, or cure any diseases. But folks, when you give the body what it needs, what it was designed to have from the beginning, and not let it become deplete, the body itself can do some amazing things. Now, if you were shared this program by somebody specific, we want to make sure that you get back with them. As I said, this is a resource for an amazing community, and we want to make sure that the person that referred you is still there by your side to help you on this health journey. Now, folks, we're just giving information, and they're the ones that will help you make sure that you get the information that you need and the products for this journey. Now, if there's nobody to thank, feel free to join us at dailywithdoc.com. You can use that contact option, or if you'd rather speak to somebody on the phone, I have an amazing phone team standing by for those who have never spoken to anybody and not referred by anybody at 855-949-3377. Now, folks, it is the new year, and I thought no better way to start off the new year than bringing in the doctor who is the Daily with Doc, Dr. Joel Wallach. Now, for those of you who do not know Dr. Wallach, Dr. Wallach has had quite a journey himself, starting from a child and having some, let's say, mild behavior issues that got even worse, to overcoming that because of the things that he was led. And I think, we have a divine, what would you say? I like to say God, who directs us, who created us, and it gives us still direction today. And as a young child, Dr. Wallach did get direction that pointed him in a way that helped him to overcome some of the health hurdles that he was having, the behavioral hurdles, as we may call them today, all these different acronyms, ADD, ADHD, even autism spectrum disorder, um, neurodivergent conditions. And he was able to overcome those on his own and help people along the way to the point where he went on to become a vet. He was in the pathology lab working his way through veterinary school and has done some incredible stuff with not just stopping there, but continuing on, having research papers published that then got him as a lead pathologist with Marlin Perkins of Mutual Omaha's Wild Kingdom. For some of you that are my age or older, you remember that one of my favorite shows, where that research of him finding when he was working in that pathology lab and 500 lambs had died in one night, and he had a portion of those dumped in as he was working through Christmas, and he found out what the cause was and took and published it. And that research paper in itself, because it was pollution, helped Marlin Perkins get some amazing funding from the National Institute of Health to work around the world in helping animals as well, to the point that Dr. Wallach was also the lead pathologist on saving the white rhino in South Africa, which went from, what was it, Dr. Wallach, less than 200 rhinos to now, what, 16,
Back
17?
then, there was 200, there was 350.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And now there's 16,000.
16,000 rhinos. And folks, I've got the book that Dr. Wallach is holding up there. Mine is without the glare. And this tells a little bit about the adventure and the story that took place while he was working on that project in South Africa, Rhino Express. Now, Dr. Wallach has a bookstore where you can go and find all of his publications, 24 publications at this time. And I know he's got a couple in the workings, plus some new editions coming up on some of his books that have been around for a long time. You can go to drjwallach.com, where you will find Dr. Wallach's publications. Now, Dr. Wallach, I started to say a little bit about, the rhino event, the expedition, but that was just the beginning of some of the great things that you have done in helping humanity. And when I say humanity, our animals around us are part of that. So as a veterinarian, Dr. Wallach, you also found the first case of cystic fibrosis in a monkey, which was said to be a human, quote unquote, genetic disease, where without telling the people that you had sent the information to, which you'll tell us who they are, you didn't tell them that it was from a monkey, but they agreed that it was indeed cystic fibrosis in the rhesus monkeys.
It's correct, rhesus monkeys. And I was a pathologist there at the Yerkes Primate Center, and as a veterinary pathologist, and found this first recognized case of cystic fibrosis in a non-human, supposed to be a human genetic birth defect, and did all my research, got everything put together, ready for publication, and handed it over to the publications committee at Yerkes Primate Center. And in 3 days, they fired me because I was saying that this disease they believe was a human genetic disease, was a simple nutritional deficiency disease. And I had done biopsies on like 25 other baby monkeys there, and they all had cystic fibrosis because the people who were in charge of that lab were tired of giving them monkey biscuits, so they just gave them raw vegetables and things like that. So the females weren't getting all the nutrients they needed to have perfect babies. Got it all written up, ready for publication. They fired me. And so that started me on this journey.
So nutrition, with even the development of a being, is important. Is that what you're saying, Doc?
Um, you're saying what?
So the nutrition that's on board with the mama, even during the development of of a being,
Cystic
is
fibrosis.
important.
Yeah. And all birth defects are either caused by a chemical damaging the embryo or a nutritional deficiency so that the parts being developed couldn't develop properly because they were missing the raw materials to do it. And that was my premise. And I was the first one to come up with that. And they fired me. Okay. And so I started working with, I was finished, I had just come back from Africa on this, on the Rhino Project. And what I was looking for now was a job because I had babies and kids and that kind of stuff. And so I started working to teach nutrition at the naturopathic college in, let's see here.
In
Uh,
Oregon,
yeah,
at what was it, the Naturopathic
yeah,
Institute. They've changed their name, so
yeah, that's right. At any rate, it was in, let's see, it goes Washington,
Oregon.
Oregon, California. Well, this school was in Oregon, and I was teaching nutrition, and I was taking courses and getting credit for my biochemistry and that kind of parasitology and biology from my other degrees. And so I got in as an advanced student into the naturopathic college there in Portland, Oregon, the National College of Naturopathic Medicine. And um, I was taking courses when I wasn't teaching and so forth. And I was working at the laboratory. The pathologist there, Dr. Lauren Kintner, he took me under his wing. He saw that I had a propensity for observing details. So he would just go away for the day and do research in the libraries and things. And he left me to do the autopsies and things. So I was doing autopsies on everything from animals to humans, even before I got into the naturopathic college as a student. And so, as you point out, that we have 23 publications, one of which is in the, again, it's in
In the Smithsonian.
the Smithsonian Museum, the
Yep.
Smithsonian Museum. And,
And there's 24 now, Doc, because you can't forget this one.
oh, yeah. Yeah, the 90 for Life Crusade for, 90 for Life Crusade to save humanity and the world. It's a 75 pages, 77 pages, something like that. And this one, I have to tell you, we've got another big research project coming to fruit here in the next week or 2 weeks. I'm not going to tell you more details than that, other than it tells you the cause of a series of human diseases that doctors think are genetic. And this is another one of those issues where we have found the actual cause, prevention, and cure of this disease category, which they have been just treating symptoms. Now, I have to tell you, the money the medical system makes for treating the symptom, okay? Where am I at here? I got all my papers. Oh, here we go. Is demyelination diseases, Alzheimer's disease, that sort of stuff. There's like, I don't know, 25 to 40, depending on whose literature you're looking at, demyelination diseases. The medical system, just treating the symptoms of demyelination diseases, earns each year, just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent or cure it, $345 billion a year. $345 billion a year. That's just America alone. Okay, to treat Alzheimer's disease. So I was giving you a clue here. This program, another one is MS, multiple sclerosis, $85 billion a year just to treat the symptoms. Okay, and I could go into all the others, but another big one is arthritis, $626.8 billion medical doctors make just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent or cure arthritis. And then lastly, I mean, there's a whole bunch of them, but we don't have time to go through them all. The last one is osteoporosis. You take three communities, the United States, Canada, and the EU, combined each year. We pay the medical system in those three countries 6.5 trillion with a T dollars just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent or cure it. Okay, so let's look here. We have all this research. What should I say? This research is impeccable. Okay, it's unimpeachable. Okay, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis. I apologize, I have to use a lens here. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Huntington's chorea, frontotemporal dementia, which is kind of a division of the Alzheimer's disease, Bell's palsy, cervical spondylosis, optic neuritis. I could go on and on and on, but you get there's about 25 different diseases you can get when you have this demyelination, okay? And they're all in this book. It's all in your head, okay? It's in the book. It's all in your head. And then there's a CD that goes along with it because the CD covers what's going on in the spinal cord, all right? And so we've figured all this out. And this study is going to blow your mind because it proves without a doubt that demyelinating diseases are a simple nutritional deficiency, an absorption problem, and has nothing to do with genetics. And so after the next couple of weeks, just like we got rid of cystic fibrosis, we got rid of muscular dystrophy, we got rid of sudden death syndrome, we got rid of those 3 diseases, which doctors thought were genetic diseases. We got rid of them by suing the FDA 8 times in federal court. Jonathan Yamor, great attorney, 8 times. We won every time. We were able then to take nutrition and put into baby formulas, which had never happened before. And within 3 months' time, those 3 diseases went away. Okay, we're talking about cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, and sudden death syndrome. Doctors thought sudden death syndrome were mothers laying on their babies and suffocating. It was just a simple nutritional deficiency. So we have other problems we got to work on because right now, when you look at this is from the United Nations. These are not my figures. These are United Nations figures. Okay, they listed the top 100 nations by longevity. Okay, number 1, I'm not going to go through 100. I'm just going to go through 4 or 5 here. Number 1 is Hong Kong. Their average life expectancy is 85.83. Number 2 is Macau. Their life expectancy is 85.51. Japan is number 3. Their life expectancy is 84.95. The life expectancy of Switzerland. Hey, they're not Asians. How do they get in there? Well, they live on glacial milk for drinking, for cooking, and for irrigation. They're getting the minerals. And so their life expectancy is 84.38. And let's see here. Number 5 is Singapore. Their average life expectancy is 84.20. Now let's look at America. Out of those 100, we rank 47. Our life expectancy, depending on whose data you look at, but I'll give America the bigger one, 79.74. Why are we 47? Our doctors got on top of the mountains and beat their chests and say we put out more money to help people with their diseases than any other country in the world. That's true. But they're treating symptoms. They're not preventing or getting rid of the disease. They're milking the cow for 10 to 25 to 50 years instead of getting rid of the problem in 3 months. That's why they make so much money. Okay. And so we came out with this flip chart. Okay. Again, 90 for Life Crusade to save humanity and the world. Now, I have to tell you, we're going to be adding more pages when this new data comes out in 2 weeks. It'll be first, it'll go and get published into medical journals and naturopathic journals and veterinary journals and stuff like that. So it gives you a clue what's going on there. But this is unimpeachable evidence. I repeat that. This is unimpeachable evidence. We know the cause, prevention, and cure, okay, of these demyelinating diseases. They're not mysterious. They're very simple. And we can prevent them. We can reverse them with a formula. And we've already got the formula made for humans. So we're just waiting now for this article to come out. And we're going to use that article to get big projects going on in big hospitals in the big cities around the world. I'm very excited about this. We're going to have a great positive impact on humanity and the quality of life and longevity. And this is just another one of our great what should I say, great instance. I'll tell you another one, which is a little funny, and I'm going to turn it back over to Rebecca in case you have some questions for us. This is kind of a funny one. Some years ago, okay, in the late 1960s, I was getting word that the bears in all the zoos around the world were getting liver cancer. Didn't matter what species of bear they were, black bear, brown bear, polar bears, honey bears, whatever we want, all the bears, they're getting liver cancer. Now, this tells you something. We have all these different species of bears getting liver cancer all over the world, in the zoos all over the world, and in the wild all over the world. Why? It couldn't be genetic because they're all different species. Okay, so there had to be some common thread. So that helped me find things pretty quickly. So, okay, what are they all being fed? Well, it turns out that universally, all the zoos in the world were selling peanuts at the front gate to make money to run the zoos. But they gave the peanuts, they would sell to the customers coming in or guests coming in, and the guests would throw the peanuts to the bears. The bears learned to stand up on their hind legs and wave their front paws and beg for the peanuts. Well, it turns out the peanuts grow in the ground. They're the only nuts that are growing in the ground. And they attract a fungus called Aspergillus flavus. Okay, and Aspergillus flavus produces a cytotoxin, okay, a cellular toxin. And this mycotoxin causes liver cancer. So all these bears are getting liver cancer because they're being thrown these peanuts that are growing on the ground and infected with Aspergillus flavus. Okay, and so why do people who take their paychecks every Friday and go to the bars and drink beer, why do they have a high rate of liver cancer? Is it because of the alcohol in the beer? Nope. It's because of the peanuts that the bars give them to attract them to come there to drink their beer. And so they're getting the liver cancer, okay, from the aflatoxin in the Aspergillus flavus mold. So as soon as we got all the bears off the peanuts and got them onto the little biscuits we give to monkeys in the zoo, within 90 days, all the new cases of liver cancer in the world in the zoos stopped. That's published in the zoo. Let's see here.
Zoological Journal?
Yeah, the Zoological Journal for Zoos was September of 1973. It was published. And it was also published in the annual, let's see here, the annual booklet that they make for all the zoos, okay? And so it's published in two places in the early to mid 1960s. And the medical doctors didn't pass that on to the human population, but it's all available in print. And once we got them off, again, the liver cancer went away as soon as we got them off the peanuts, which grew in the ground and attracted the Aspergillus flavus, and the aflatoxin produced the liver cancer. I mean, these are just unimpeachable great stories. The International Zoo Yearbook, that's it. That's what I'm trying to think of. The International Zoo Yearbook, okay? It was like 1972 or 73, one of those. But the International Zoo journal, okay, for the International Zoos for journals, was September of 1973, published, okay? And of course, the medical system didn't pay attention to that. So beer drinkers, you know, who are still eating peanuts with their beer are at risk of getting liver cancer. Okay, it's not the alcohol in the beer that's giving them liver cancer, it's the fungus on the peanuts. So watch out for your kids with peanuts, peanut butter, anything with peanuts in it. You got to really, really watch it. Okay, now, I get very excited about this because just think of all these diseases. We've done the research now. We're in the process of publication now. Okay, and within a week to 2 weeks, this information will be available. Okay, in several media. Okay, be printed stuff as well as recorded stuff. Okay, we're talking about Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Huntington's chorea, frontotemporal dementia, Bell's palsy, cervical spondylosis, optic neuritis, Charcot-Marie-Tooth, Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease, Guillain-Barré syndrome, neuromyelitis optica, myelin oligodendrite, glycoprotein antibody associated disease, transverse myelitis, disseminated encephalomalacia. I mean, I could go on and on. There's more and more lists of these things. And the symptoms of demyelination associated disease are vision loss, muscle weakness, muscle stiffness, muscle spasms, loss of coordination, walking problems, change in sensations, change of bladder and bowel function, nerve pain, overall fatigue, uncontrolled body movement, tremors, difficulty in swallowing, changes in speech, mood, depression, anxiety. And in this um, uh, book, it's all in your head, there's 12 chapters for the 12 pairs of cranial nerves. Okay, there's one chapter for each cranial nerve and all the diseases and symptoms that occur when you get osteoporosis of the skull. And then there's a CD that goes along with it, which covers all these same issues in the spinal cord. So we're covering all these diseases that are caused by myelin deficiency. Now, myelin is made by your liver from cholesterol. Cholesterol is an essential nutrient. I'm going to repeat that. Cholesterol is an essential nutrient. Your brain maintains and makes itself, your brain and spinal cord require cholesterol in large amounts. Goes to the liver makes myelin out of it. The myelin goes to your brain and spinal cord, and also the myelin sheaths, which protect your big nerves, including sciatic nerve and so forth. Okay. And so when doctors give you a prescription to, when they give you a prescription to lower your cholesterol or eliminate cholesterol, they're putting you in the danger zone. Okay. When you stop eating cholesterol, you're putting yourself in the danger zone. Have you ever wondered why all these poor people don't ever get these diseases? These are all rich people diseases. That's because they eat the things that doctors say you shouldn't be eating, but they eat them. And guess what? It's gonna blow your mind when you see why the poor people don't get these diseases that the rich people get. It's not because rich people have different genes. It's because they're giving up cholesterol. Okay, so with that, I'm going to put this over back to Rebecca. What do we got going here?
Well, Dr. Wallach, you shared a lot of great information. And folks, if you're hearing us from the first time, I hope that you were listening, especially on that cholesterol tidbit, because there are so many different conditions, let alone the side effects of a medication that is being prescribed for lowering cholesterol. I mean, don't forget to read that insert, folks, that comes with your prescription. It has some valuable information that as you're reading through it, your gut is going to say, yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you. And that's for a reason. As Dr. Wallach just shared, just the few of the symptoms, let alone the diagnoses that have been contributed to demyelination, folks. That's removing the myelin that protects, that's the coating that protects your brain, protects the nerves that the body needs in order for it to not have disconnect, to malfunction. So definitely make sure that you are keeping the good foods going in that help promote the good cholesterol. And that includes what Dr. Wallach is holding up. It was a little hard to see what it is, but that is the I-26. And he's also holding up a product called Synaptive, which has nutrition in it for extra support of those nerves within the brain, so everything's just firing properly. So get with the person that shared this program with you. Ask them about the I-26. It does come in chewables, powder that you mix in cold water, not hot. Hot water does denature the antibodies and enzymes within the I-26 product. So you want to make sure that you are taking it with cool drinks, folks. But there's the chewable, there's a powder, and also capsules for those that do not want to do the chewable or powder. And Olivia here with us in the room is saying, I love Synaptive. And folks, Synaptive is absolutely fantastic in helping, especially if you got a few things going on like brain fog, The nutrients that are in the synaptive then help support the body to be able to think clearly and be on target.
And it allows the brain cells and the nerve cells and the spinal cord cells to talk to each other. The synapse is the joint where two different nerves will talk to each other. And this is the raw material required to make that talking possible. So we make this available. I take 3 of those twice a day, and I'm 84 years old, not too bad. Most people think I'm in my 50s when they look at me. And so, you know, I can duke it out with 200-pound men.
Well, Dr. Wallach, Duke and Dukes, that's a really cool last name. You don't have to put up your Dukes in this program. So let's just keep it all love and, helping people, not beating them up. We have questions, Dr. Wallach, and for those of you who are in the Zoom room with us and you would like to ask Dr. Wallach a question, please make sure that you go to that reactions in the Zoom menu and click on raise hand. We also, if you are out on, I think, Rumble, Facebook, and YouTube, we do have members of our team who are watching the chat on those. So if you ask a question on any of those platforms, we'll have somebody catch that question, raise their hand, and ask it for you here in the Zoom room. Or you can come join us, folks, dailywithdoczoom.com, and you can ask the question yourself. So, Dr. Wallach, let's go to the first question, the first 10 that is up. And Phyllis, let me go ahead and get you on screen with me, my dear. And go ahead. What questions do you have for Dr. Wallach today?
2 questions, actually. And Doc, Happy New Year. It is wonderful to see you today.
Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you for all you do, and welcome. How can we help you?
Well, Irene in the chat, and Irene, if you'd like to jump in, feel free to raise your hand. Irene is wondering about little white spots that she is seeing on her skin on her body. And we don't have any more information, Irene, unless you type it in the chat or raise your hand.
Okay, well, white spots, of course, can be due to a lack of the raw materials that make skin pigment. Okay, you can also have problems with the little blood vessels that carry nutrition to the skin. And so we have a product. It's called hair, skin, and nails. Hair, skin, and nails. So in addition to the 90 essential nutrients, the healthy brain and heart pack, get rid of all the bad foods, you maximize absorption. And then per 100 pounds of body weight, you want to take 3 of those little pills. The hair,
Hair, skin, nails?
hair, skin, and the hair, skin, and nails. Hair, skin, and nails. Take 3 of those twice a day. Or if she wants to really be aggressive, take 3 times a day. I take 3 twice a day of the hair, skin, and nails. And not too bad for an old guy. I do have a wound on me. I got smashed between 2 barrels unloading a truck.
Well, I will testify to the fact that your skin looks great, and when we see you in person, especially.
Yeah, not bad for an 84-year-old guy.
Not bad at all. The second question is from Suzanne, and she has a 16-year-old daughter, 5'9", 130 pounds. Her daughter is an athlete. She plays volleyball, and she is having back pain. The chiropractor has told her she has 2 discs that keep misaligning, 2 vertebrae, excuse me, keep misaligning, and claiming this is the cause of her back pain. What can you recommend for Suzanne's daughter to help with that?
Okay, well, she and everybody else in the same household had to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no barley, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. So they neutralize stomach acid so you cannot absorb minerals and digest food. Then per 100 pounds of body weight, she needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Okay, well, let me back up. She's 150 pounds, right? Or 130?
130 pounds.
130 pounds. Okay, I'd have her take 2 healthy brain and heart packs, a full dose of everything at breakfast, full dose of everything at dinner time. And then, because she's got this back stuff going on with the bones and arthritis and disc and so on, I want her to have our glucogel. She can take 3 of those 3 times a day. That's going to help her rebuild cartilage and ligaments and tendons and connective tissue and bone matrix and all that kind of stuff. Okay. And then we also want her to have the collagen peptides, which is another source of that sort of raw material. Have her take, let's see, the collagen peptides. It comes in a powder. Okay, you can put it in a drink. Have it as a drink along with other liquids. Okay. Have her take 2 doses a day of the collagen peptides. And then I also want her to use our CM cream. She can apply that to her back and so forth. But she also needs, we have a bone builder capsule, bone builder capsule. She can take 3 of those twice a day, bone builder capsule. Okay. And so let's go those directions. And it's a CM cream she can take and put on her knees and hips and ankles and toes and elbows and shoulders and neck and back. And it will relieve the inflammation and swelling and pain for about 2 to 3 hours.
Sounds good. We'll be sure and get back to you with her
Thank you.
progress. Thank you.
Yeah, the audience will want to hear what's going on here because there's so many people of all ages. Remember, the biggest cost in healthcare around the world is for arthritis and osteoporosis. Because everybody gets it because it's a simple nutritional deficiencies, and doctors treat it with cortisone and painkillers. Now, how many nutrients does cortisone replace? None. How many nutrients does painkillers kill?
We don't have a shortage of medication in our bodies, isn't that right?
That's correct. And so you need all these mineral things that are developed. And of course, we actually developed the glucogel. There was no bottled collagen source anywhere in the world until we invented that for Theo Ratliff. We made the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack for him. We took the Healthy Start Pack, we added the glucogel to it, and it made the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. He came back and he had to give up his basketball career because he had these problems. Okay.
I'll find it for you, Doc.
Okay.
I believe he had fractures, did he not?
Well, he had some, minor fractures, but he primarily had arthritis of his knees and his hips and his shoulder. They wanted to take all his bones out and give him artificial legs and artificial arms. Not good for a basketball player, right? There you go. I want you to look at that picture. That pictures of 2 male adults. One is 7 foot tall, the other one is 5'4". Okay. Now it took us 3 months to get him back together. He went back and got his job back. He played professionally for 9 years and made $100 million in payroll. Okay, now he goes around the world lecturing on this and telling these high school kids and kids who are playing for their countries and their various organizations and so forth. Theo Ratliff is a phenomenal guy. Okay, and he's the one that I was able to prove to myself we could create something to rebuild those tissues, because when you one of the things I used to do as a pathologist was I would boil the tissues. Whether it was a liver or a bone or a heart or lungs or brain, I'd boil the tissues and analyze the liquid that came off when you boiled, whether it was bones or muscles or liver or brain or whatever. And I said, okay, well, this is what we need to make something contain all that stuff. Nobody had ever done that before. And that's where my idea came to come up with all these various tissue and cell and organ products, because I figured out what each one was made from.
You are truly an icon in originating these therapies. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for all you do, and because it takes a team. We have so many famous people. That's why we came out with a flip chart. Pat Boone, Danny Glover. Okay, so many senators. Martin Luther King III, Evander Holyfield lost his heavyweight championship because he had a heart attack during the last break before the last round, defending his title. He had to give up his championship. Well, we made the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack for Evander Holyfield. 3 months on our Healthy Brain and Heart Pack twice a day. He comes back and challenges the current champ And the referees had to stop the fight, not because of him, but because the champion was going to die in about 2 minutes. I mean, he was totally knocked out, just standing there with his arms down, and Evander Holyfield was just pounding the heck out of him. And so the referees jumped in there and stopped the fight and held up Evander Holyfield's hands and gave him the title back. Just because he was taking or held the heart pack twice a day for 3 months.
Well, you helped two great athletes go back to the most challenging sports I can possibly imagine, NBA basketball and pro boxing.
Okay, let me give you one more. This is a girl professional athlete, because I don't want to make it all boys, 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 boys. I have to throw a girl in there. This is Kelly Herron. She was All-American in basketball for the University of Tennessee.
I got it, Doc.
Okay, thank you. There you go. Now again, she's 7 foot tall. I'm 5'4". And we had her going on the healthy bone and joint pack, and she lost her position because she couldn't even lift her shooting arm. Okay, had terrible arthritis. She's only 18 years old, 20 years old, and she had, bone to bone arthritis, shooting her shoulder, rebuilt her shooting shoulder, and she came back, finished her college as a All-American, and she played 4 years professional basketball and women's professional basketball.
Now, that's too young to be getting arthritis. We think of it as an older person's disease. Young people get it too.
Oh yeah, babies are born with it. I repeat that, babies are born with it because it's a simple nutritional deficiency disease. And if the mothers are just, eating, things like oatmeal for breakfast and hot dogs for lunch and pizza for dinner and not taking the 90 essential nutrients, they get pregnant. The babies, if they don't lose the baby, from having a problem with their pregnancy and lose the baby and have an abortion, okay, what'll happen is the baby will be born with multiple birth defects. But if they're taking all the 90 essential nutrients and staying away from the bad foods, athletes can have little angels just like everybody else.
Thank
All
you.
right, great questions, fellas. Thank you so much for that. And Dr. Wallach, let's go ahead and go to Ron. Ron, go ahead and unmute yourself. And welcome to Daily with Doc.
Hey, hello, Ron. How can we help you?
Yes, glad to see you
Oh,
back.
can't hardly hear you. Got to get closer to the microphone.
Glad to see you back. Is that better?
Yes, it's much better. Thank you.
Okay. My question is, I got a friend that has been going through chemo, and they came back and said that he was, they could do nothing else for him. Could you help him?
Okay, what's his problem?
He has cancer.
Okay, there's a million types of cancers. What type of cancer?
Well, I have very little information on it. I was just wondering, they say that they can't do anything more for him. Can you help him?
Well, we've had very, very high level of success in treating people and giving therapies to people that have various types of cancer. We support their immune system. We have the ability to subdue the cancer cells and increase the patient's immune system so their own immune system can kill the cancer. But I can't make any promises on cancer because you haven't given me a lot of details or anything there.
Right, and it's in the last. He's in the last stages of the cancer.
Well, that's when they come to me. They never come to me when they're healthy.
Yeah, well, that sounds like me.
Okay, well, let's get some more information on this guy. We do have a success trail of therapy. Doctors say, "Oh, you've got this cancer. You've got like 6 months to live," and they live 6 more years.
Right.
Kind of thing. Or you have this much time to live, and they like Martin Luther King III, Andy Young. We spent, I don't know, a couple of years going to Europe and Asia, talking in 25 different countries. And there were so many diseases that just had no help from anybody. And we're able to reverse those diseases, and they have a maintenance program so the diseases don't come back anymore. And so we can't promise a whole lot for things that we don't know much about. We can say we'll do our best. and we have a long track record of doing well for people.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
You bet. Yeah, get some more details.
I'll try to get back with you this week later on.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Ron. And folks, that's what this program is all about, is being able to provide a place where people can come with not only their own questions in regards to health and what they can do based on the symptoms that they are experiencing, their age, their weight. Dr. Wallach needs to know all of that because, folks, it's not just one size fits all. When you get a small little body, it's not going to take as much nutrition as it does if you've got a great big body. So Dr. Wallach wants to know that information as well. And, you know, many times something will be given this technical name where when you look at the symptoms, there's so much overlap in symptoms. It was basically just the doctor's name that discovered all of these conditions together, and he was the first one that take it to market. But Dr. Wallach, when you're looking at an individual as a whole, tell us a little bit as to why you ask about symptoms that people are experiencing.
Okay, well, symptoms give you a clue what's missing. It gives you a clue what your body's doing to compensate for what's missing. And so you have to appreciate when cells are damaged or have problems or dying, you get certain symptoms. When tissues, which are a mixture of cells and so forth, loses its optimal function, there's something going on there. Okay, is it a lack of fuel? Is it a lack of protection of those cells? Lack of nutrition? Are they taking bad things? Are they, doing drugs? There's so many things going on that you have to take into consideration. And so what I learned was when I was working my way through veterinary school in the pathology department, I'm not even, a physician yet. I had a degree in agriculture. I had a degree in veterinary medicine. I was taking all these pathology courses and working in the pathology department. And this gave me a greater scope of how to understand diseases than students who had worked in McDonald's through their high school years. Okay, just a simple environment. Okay. And so it's one of those things where you have to know what questions to ask. You have to know where to look to find out what causes those symptoms. You have to know where to look to deal with if there's a possibility to reduce or eliminate those symptoms. If the doctor says you got 6 months to live and we can give you 10 more years, that's pretty good. Okay. And so it's one of those things over the years, I would ask those questions and chase things down and do analyses. And that's why I was so happy to be able to work for the pathology lab for so many years, working my way through veterinary school. And then also through my naturopathic college courses, I was still working at the pathology labs. And so, and I got credit for those courses and stuff. And so I was able to do things in 2.5 years instead of 4 years, because I already had 8 years of college with biochemistry and autopsies and all that kind of stuff. So I was way ahead of the game there. And so I hope that answers the question.
Well, Dr. Wallach, you did more autopsies even after veterinarian school.
That's correct.
And that included going to Kishan, China.
That's correct. Dr. Milan took me to Kishan, China. We did 1,700 autopsies on kids under the age of 10. And this is how we figured out the cause, prevention, and cure for cystic fibrosis. I knew that it wasn't genetic from all those autopsies I had done in the monkeys. Okay, and I knew I had done many, many autopsies on kids, but never saw any cystic fibrosis in them. Well, these kids in China, they were all missing. A certain district had very high levels of Kishan disease, which is cystic fibrosis. And so that gave me, what should I say, a greater experience as opposed to reading a book that said we don't know what causes this. I was up to my elbows, okay, in lungs and livers and hearts and kidneys and intestines and muscles and brains and eyes and all this kind of stuff. We did that in 3 months' time. Okay. And so we were doing so many autopsies. We had a big team there who would do some of the physical work. They bring the bodies in, we'd cut them open, and I'm doing autopsies on the organs of one, and they're taking the organs out of 3 or 4 or 5 while I'm doing that. And so they're just shunting stuff to me. And it was published in 3 languages, in China and in English. So it's what should I say? You cannot say it wasn't done.
Right. Well, Dr. Wallach, we have another hand that is up. And AJ, what questions are you bringing to the table today?
Hey, Dr. Wallach, how are you?
Okay, sir. Happy New Year and all that jazz.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
We have Steph on YouTube, and her friend is a 35-year-old female and 135 pounds, and she has hypothyroid, and her doctor says that she should not take any products with iodine because she has hypothyroid and not hyperthyroid.
Well, the first thing she needs to do is find a different doctor, because that doctor doesn't know what he's talking about, he or she's talking about. Okay, when you have a thyroid issue, one of the more common causes of thyroid issues is iodine deficiency. There are other issues. Foods you're eating interfere, even though you're getting enough iodine in your diet, but you can't absorb it or you can't utilize it because the chemicals in the food you're eating are interfering with that process. So you have to do a hair analysis. Is the iodine getting through there? You have optimal amounts of iodine in the hair analysis. I mean, there's things you have to do to find out what's going on so you're treating it properly. But we have a wonderful product. Let's see here. It's called Ocean's Gold. Ocean's Gold. You take the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. Okay, 1 per 100 pounds of body weight. You take the Ocean's Gold. Stay away from all the bad stuff. Okay, and there's a whole list of things you need to stay away from if you have thyroid issues, and these are all, in the books, in the flip chart and so forth. And so, somebody with a 6th grade reading level can figure this out. And so I would find another doctor if the doctor says you might be taking too much iodine. Too much iodine does not give you goiter and thyroid issues.
Thank you very much, Doc.
You bet.
All right. Thank you, AJ, as well. And Dr. Wallach, you took a little bit of time off because over 80 years, the US president has more vacations in 2 years of his 4-year term than you have in decades. So I am glad that you took some time off, and as you're taking time off, you're getting back now into your schedule. So at the next hour, Dr. Wallach is going to be on the radio as well, not today, but on most days. So we want to make sure that we maintain that schedule and allow him to be able to have the time to get ready for them and give them his full attention as well. Dr. Wallach, thank you so much for all that you have done. Welcome to 2024. We love and appreciate you, and we look forward to another great year helping others.
Well, thank you so much. I look forward to another at least 25 years. But the life expectancy of the Hunzas in the Himalayan mountains is 120. And of course, let's see, we had our original people in the Bible.
They lived hundreds of years.
Yeah, 930 years.
969, if you want to talk about Methuselah.
Methuselah. Yeah, 969. And that's because they lived in the Garden of Eden. Okay. And so God was very clever. He put these people, he wanted to do things into these gardens that had all these nutrients in it. And they lived, okay. It's one of those things where back in those days, they had large numbers of people living to be 900, 800, 700, okay? And this is documented in the old Bible. And so you can't argue with that.
That is for fact. Well, folks, I know we didn't get to all of the questions today. We are coming close to the top of the hour, and we just want to make sure that you know how to get in contact with either the person that shared this program with you or with us. So if there was nobody to thank and you finding this program, feel free to go to dailywithdoc.com or give us a call on our 800 number 855-949-3377. But if there was somebody or is somebody to thank, make sure that you get back with them and tell them what you liked best about this program. And most of all, thank them for sharing this program with you. Now, if I could get my co-hosts on the screen with me, I could not do this without them, because it does have many, many running and working parts. We have Albert in South Africa, who is helping people get into the Zoom room, keeping an eye on cameras in the chat, make sure that we're keeping this a safe place. We have Marilyn, who is putting the information into the chat. So one of the greatest advantages of being here live with us is that information that Marilyn puts into the chat, repeating what Dr. Wallach has said, or even giving a summary of what Dr. Wallach recommended for people when the questions are being asked. And we have Phyllis Sanderson, who is also putting information into the chat and out there on the different social media platforms, bringing those questions into the Zoom room so we can get answers for you from the man himself. And we have AJ, who is also out on those platforms and responsible for helping us get out on those platforms. So we just want to do a big old shout out for AJ as well, as we are continuing to get this information on different platforms, including coming this year. We are going to be on your Roku TV, Fire TV, and Apple TV, hopefully by the end of this week. So folks, thank you so much for joining us here on Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes, and I am excited for another fantastic year, helping you find your optimal health journey. Until next time, bye for now.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wallach.
Thank you.